and yeah, as I said, I grew up in this area. Growing up biracial and brown-skinned in an overwhelmingly white area, I was inevitably noticed because I looked different from the majority. Being noticed is one thing, but being treated badly is another. My family endured the name-calling of children who parroted their parents' racism, along with violent assaults on our family home by thugs who threw bricks at our windows on such a regular basis that as soon as they were replaced, we knew they'd be smashed again. My father chased after the throwers and literally dragged them to their parents' homes to make them pay for the damage. Today, he wouldn't be allowed to do this. As a child, you are profoundly affected by this level of hostility without being able to intellectualize or articulate it. You feel hated, even though you have done nothing to deserve it. And so you think there is something wrong with you rather than something wrong with them. A child needs to feel safe, to feel that they belong. But when you are prejudged before you even open your mouth to speak, you feel as if you don't. It seemed unfair because I felt the same inside as my little white pals. We liked the same music and television programs, breathed the same air, ate the same food, had the same feelings, human ones. In time, I developed a self-protective force field around me, which persists to this day. My family didn't suffer any of the other popular assaults of the time, the welcome to the neighbourhood gifts that other brown families experienced, such as firebombing, innovative uses of excrement or dead rats on the doorstep. The neighbour who lived directly opposite us scowled whenever he saw us and never once said a word of greeting to our family. Many of our other neighbours were fine, although we didn't mix socially with them. My father kept a hammer at the side of his bed his entire life in Britain, even when he didn't need it anymore. If it had been legal, it would have been a gun. He faced the front line of racist violence from the minute he stepped off the ship carrying him from Lagos to Liverpool. As a former teenage boxer, and as I like to think of him, a Yoruba warrior, my father took on his attackers. In 1965, he sued a next-door neighbour who allowed his dog to foul our garden. When my father challenged him, the man called him a black bastard and began a fight, setting the dog on him. When my father tried to end the fight, the racist followed him into our house, went for him, and it kicked off again. I have my father's legal testimony of the incident before me as I write this, typewritten onto large sheets of thin paper, sepia with age. In spite of what my father endured, he never saw himself as a sufferer, a victim, but as a fighter who gave as good as he got. I'm the same, although my battles are fought with words. I don't like people trying to get the better of me, and my father was a role model in this regard. I won't start an argument and generally avoid conflict, although I used to flare up when I was in my 20s. But if someone takes a pop at me, I will have the last word. Be warned.